Welcome to show 28 of the Cloth Diaper Podcast. Today we are talking about the Flats Handwashing Challenge. The Cloth Diaper Podcast is a somewhat regular show dedicated to everything cloth diapering. We talk with brands, parents, retailers, and anybody else who wants to talk about cloth diapers from around the world. Hi, my name is Bailey, and today I am joined with Jenny McClamick. Should have asked how to pronounce her name, from clothdiaperrevival.com. Jenny recently took over the responsibility of hosting the Flats Handwashing Challenge. This will be the 9th year of the Flats Handwashing Challenge, and she did announce the dates. They will be May 13th through 19th, 2019. The Flats Handwashing Challenge is a special once-a-year kind of event. We won't go into too much detail in this intro because I think that's for Jenny to explain and for you to learn more about. If by the end of this show you're ready and roaring to go, check out www.clothdiaperrevival.com to sign up, or find the Flats and Handwashing group on Facebook for more. This is a great opportunity to remember to subscribe to the Cloth Diaper Podcast wherever you're listening. If you love this show, don't forget to leave a review. Reviews, subscriptions, they all count. They all matter at the end of the day, as much as I would rather they didn't. The other little piece of housekeeping is, if you want to be on this show, send me an email. I told you I was going to have surgery this week, and that actually got pushed back, so life is feeling a little bit hectic, a little bit sporadic. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube for regular updates. And if you have participated in the Flats and Handwashing Challenge and maybe you want to share your story, I would love to share some experiences from the Flats and Handwashing Challenge from years past during May. So hit me up with an email. Let's make it happen. Recording is super sweet and super simple. Jenny does have her kids in this episode, and you will hear them pop up, make some noise. I hope that's not too distracting. It's just motherhood. All right, on to the show.
So the Flats and Hand Washing Challenge, this will be our 9th year, and it started with Dirty Diaper Laundry and Kim Rosas. She started it as kind of an advocacy awareness for diaper need, and she worked really closely with Giving Diapers, Giving Hope, which is no longer around.
Oh, yes.
But it was a way to bring awareness that cloth diapering, I think there's this stigma that cloth diapering is expensive or that it's hard. And so it was a way to show that it's doable in an inexpensive way, without the use of, if you don't have laundry facilities in your home.
Yeah.
So it's just a way to show that it is manageable in situations where you might not have the funds to cloth diaper with a nice, large, all-in-one stash, or if you don't have laundry facilities available.
So is that still aligned with what you want to achieve with the Flats and Handwashing Challenge today in 2019?
It is. I feel like it's a little trickier because just this year alone, or I guess last year, 2 diaper charities closed, both Giving Diapers, Giving Hope, and the Rebecca Foundation. So I feel like those things have kind of become a little bit harder to find. So I definitely think it's still, it's not something where we can point to a ton of resources of where to get diapers, because a lot of those are going to be more locally sourced and not a broad, US based thing.
Yeah.
But it's still something that I think is a great way to show people that it is manageable.
Yeah, and a great way to kind of start out on the journey too, because there's not a lot of financial commitment when you're doing flats.
Exactly. And for me, when I started, I did it, I was I had one child. My oldest is 7. So he wasn't a year old yet. And I was very obsessed with cloth diapering. My husband, it was kind of sad. That's all I talked about. And, so for me, it was a challenge, not so much for the need of simple diapers or that we didn't have laundry facilities, but a challenge for myself to see if I could do what my grandmother would have had to do. Mm-hmm. Which is funny because when we started cloth diapering, my husband actually suggested it, and that's what I pictured. I pictured flats and these very old school diapers, and I was like, no way, we're not doing that. And then I came to love flats through the Flats Challenge.
Yes, this would be if my kid's not potty training. I think this is my third or fourth year if I do it, and definitely fall in love with flats. And also because I blog about cloth diapers and you blog about cloth diapers, doing the challenge was a way for me to feel less like a hypocrite in that I could legitimately say it's totally feasible.
Yeah.
And these are the hiccups that come around with it, and these are the challenges, but these are also some of the like real life understandings of how this process could work for a family.
Yeah, I think the first time I did it, it was easy. I mean, I had one child. He was this great napper. I mean, I was like washing diapers twice a day, and I was like, this is great. This is easy. Anyone can do this. And then last year was really an eye-opener for me. I had done the challenge a few times prior to last year, but last year I had just had a baby. She was like a month old, if that. I was trying to host. I had a really traumatic birth experience with a lot of health issues following her birth. So I was dealing with that and lots of doctor's appointments, and I had 2 under 2. And I was like, there is just like, this is not for everybody. Like, I can actually see how this could be difficult. And I was really glad about that, because if you have a good year and a good experience, you're like, yeah, everybody can do this. No one has an excuse. Give everybody flat diapers and get rid of all the disposables in the world. And then last year I was like, no, this is hard. And I stay home. Like, I didn't even have a job on top of that.
No, the second year I had 2 under 2 in diapers, and Anna would have been 4 months old, and that was a very hard year. Yeah. Just like the bulk, how many diapers you went through a day to begin with, and then trying to juggle like young babies are very demanding.
Yes.
Very demanding. So what is a flat cloth diaper? If nobody's heard of a flat.
Yeah. So if you think back to the basis of like any diaper knowledge you might have had when you think cloth diapers, like what your grandmother, great-grandmother would have done. This is kind of what you would imagine. And it is a single layer of fabric. They're typically cotton. Some people even use flour sack towels, which are basically dishcloths. So it's a single layer of a large piece of fabric that you fold into layers to create absorbency. And there's no waterproof layer, so you would have to add a cover to make it waterproof.
And are there any rules for the Flats and Handwashing Challenge about what a flat clother can be?
Basically, the rule is a single layer of fabric. So if you are already cloth diapering, you can't use pre-folds. You can't use inserts, which are multiple layers sewn together. You can't use all-in-ones. You basically, any single layer of fabric. A lot of people make t-shirt flats or flats out of like old bath towels, sheets, anything. It just has to be a single layer of fabric.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I used t-shirts with my first year, and I was blown away by how effective those were.
Yeah.
And
I think that's the other cool thing about it is it doesn't have to be something you buy. I mean, you can go to the thrift store. You can even look in your linen closet and pull just about anything out.
Yeah, I think it's such a great reminder that there are everyday items around us. We don't have to go to the store and buy something cloth diaper specific to absorb pee.
Yeah.
It just has to be absorbent material. Maybe not silk. That's polyester. One of the questions, I asked this question in my group, and of course people are going to ask, well, how do I wash diapers by hand? So where would be some resources that people can learn about the different ways that hand washing strategies in preparation, and what would be your suggestions in regarding to tackling that whole thought?
One of the most popular things, and I think Kim of Dirty Diaper Laundry she has a great YouTube video on how to make one, but is a camp style washer, which is basically a bucket and a plunger, and the plunger creates the agitation and the friction that a washing machine would do, and you would do it by hand. Personally, I have never done that. I have always had success just literally hand washing in my sink or in my bathtub, just running some water. You need like the tiniest bit of detergent. If you use a ton of detergent, you will be rinsing for days. And when you're doing it by hand without the power of a washing machine, that is a lot of work.
Yeah, I made that mistake my first year. It was getting a little heavy-handed with some detergent. And
yeah, it's really surprising. You think about how much you need to throw in your washing machine to wash a load of clothes or diapers, but with hand washing, it just takes very little.
My favorite way, last year I bought a board, a laundry board. What is that?
Yeah, a washboard.
A washboard, and I really enjoy the washboard over hand washing, and I enjoy it more over plunging. I just don't have the upper arm strength to plunge.
Yeah, you definitely realize like either how weak you are or how strong you would be if you did this continually.
And there are parents, I've met parents in the Flats Handwashing Facebook group who actually do this on a regular basis all year round. That's their ways of diapering. So who can participate in the Flats Handwashing challenge?
So anybody can participate. You need a baby, of course, or a child that's still in diapers. Basically, you need someone to diaper, and then that's it. We have participants all over the world. We have people in Ireland and Egypt and Germany that participate, and we have bloggers and Instagram influencers and YouTube stars. Everybody participates. It doesn't matter. You don't have to have a following. You can if you want to, and if you have a following, it's a great way to spread the word. But if you are just a mom or a dad that cloth diapers, then you are welcome to join.
And there's a lot of power, if you guys are listening, if you feel like you're just a mom or just a parent, in sharing this knowledge with your friends and family. Like, your influence to your local circle is immense. Like,
it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, just sharing like on your own Facebook wall or on your own Instagram page, even if you have it set to private and you think like no one's listening. I had multiple friends convert to cloth diapering just from my constant talking about it.
Yeah. You have a lot of power, and people will be like, what are you doing this week? You can't come for dinner because you're hand washing diapers. And you started a thought, right?
Yeah.
You started a conversation. So why would you encourage someone to participate? Why do you think people should join?
It's really it's a great way to challenge yourself like I did my first year. I mean, if you think that you were just like the most enthusiastic person about cloth diapers, it's a great way to have more knowledge and to see what else is out there. But it's also, you just never know when you're going to encounter a family in need, or in your own local community, a way to help somebody. I know I've reached out to our pregnancy crisis center before to give information on cloth diapering, just to help families who are in need know that there are other options, because diaper need is such a huge thing. Mm-hmm. A lot of people can't afford diapers. And so it's a great way to be able to help someone to see that they don't have to struggle to diaper their baby.
And it's not necessarily an all or nothing thing. Like, you can just choose, maybe you choose flats twice a week and it helps offset that cost just a little bit. Or that's, I think, something everybody should remember when they think about cloth diapering, or even extreme styles like this, is that it can just be a way to help offset the larger picture.
Yeah, I mean, one cloth diaper is saving you one disposable diaper.
Yeah, 25 cents.
Which doesn't sound like a lot, but to some families, I mean, that is huge.
Yeah, it can be huge. Exactly. So what can we expect during the week of the challenge? What can someone expect if they've never heard of it? What's it going to look like come May?
The week, it runs 7 days, so we'll start the morning of the first day of the challenge, where you use no disposables, no modern cloth diaper styles, and you just commit to using flats, and you can use covers, of course, with them, and no washing machine. And that doesn't mean you can't wash your typical clothing laundry. It just means your diaper laundry. And you're basically, when I say it's a challenge, this is something I kind of beat myself up on last year, but I mean, go into it thinking, yes, you're going to do it. But if something comes up, your kids get sick, or you realize that you need to use a diaper, or you need to throw a little laundry in the washing machine, that's also a great learning experience for you. So it's not necessarily that you failed. I mean, you totally learned something. So you just commit to trying flats and hand washing for a week straight. And that's pretty much all it is. Some people choose to blog about it and share about it, which is awesome. Like we said before, you don't have to have a blog or be an influencer to take part, but just sharing it with your community. And we have a Flats group, the Flats and Handwashing Challenge, where you can get ideas and share your experience with other families and troubleshoot what things are working and not working.
And they're pretty excited over there. I know as soon as like January 1st, 2019 hit, people were starting to talk. They're like, yes, 2019 is coming.
I get lots of like, when's the challenge? When's the challenge?
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people continue to do it once it's over. They're just like, I'm going to see if I can go a month. And I'm like, that's great. Keep going.
I always do it during the summer. Then I start. It reminds me I can bring flats when I go camping. And then I remember to bring flats when I go camping.
Yeah.
It encourages me on that way. So how many you've participated now? What you said, 3 years, 4 years?
Let's see. I think this is my 4th or 5th year participating.
And this is your 3rd year hosting as Cloth
Diaper
Revival?
3rd year hosting. Sorry, baby.
It's okay.
Daylight savings has ruined naps for my children.
I feel that. I feel that a lot. Luckily, mine are at preschool. So what's been your biggest challenge doing the Flats Challenge? Like, if you consider all of the years you've participated, what do you find to be the biggest challenge for you personally?
Actually, using flats is not a problem for me. I keep it pretty simple. I mean, it's fun to learn different kinds of flat folds and do all those things. But for me, I keep it pretty simple. I just lay them pad fold, which is basically a rectangle inside of a cover. And I don't use fancy diaper pins or snappies. And I just keep that simple. And that's not a problem for me. I can do that daily in my normal life and it'd be fine. For me last year, the struggle was keeping up with washing diapers, just because a lot of people say, could you just wash once during the challenge? Thinking they're kind of cheating the system. Like, oh, I'll just get enough flats to get me through a week and then I'll just hand wash them all one time and be done. But that's really not, you're kind of cheating yourself by doing that, because even if you just wash one day for one child by hand, that's at least probably 20 minutes of manual labor for yourself. And that's on top of like everything else you have to do in your regular day. So like, I can't imagine having to wash 7 days of diapers at one time.
No, I typically did it once a day if I could remember. If something happened, then I would push it off. But that really helped cut down on time, was just doing it once a day instead of.
Yeah, it really does.
And it's because it adds up. Like you have to, when you're thinking about how you're going to hand wash diapers, guys, you still have to kind of go through the motions your washing machine does. Like, you got to get rid of the poop and the pee, and then you got to clean them, and then you got to rinse them and rinse them some more.
Yeah, and then you have to get all the water out.
And covers take a long time to dry.
They do. But the nice thing about flats is, especially, I mean, which is great because the Flats Challenge is in May, so most of the country is going to be warm and sunny, hopefully. So if you get a nice sunny week, it's actually great for putting them outside because they dry pretty quickly outside.
Yeah. I did it 1 year in Vancouver and it rained the entire time and my flats never dried. So if you live in a humid place, calculate that out as being a challenge. It is a very big challenge. What are some other frequently asked questions that you get? I was trying to think. Are there any costs associated? Is there any limits on budgets or what you can or can't spend on the project?
There's no limit. A lot of people kind of challenge themselves. Like, they'll buy, like, 1 year they might have this great, like, I say expensive. I mean, it's not, flats are like the cheapest cloth diapers you can buy. They'll buy like multiple sets of flats from a cloth diapering boutique, and then they'll have all these covers. And then the next year they're like, I'm going to challenge myself to only having 10 flats and one cover for the whole challenge. But there's no limit on supplies. You can have as many covers or as many flats as you want. And you can use whatever detergent you want. You can use doublers for absorbency if needed. However, 2 flats together is actually really absorbent.
Yes.
You can use a nighttime diaper of your choice. So it doesn't have to be a flat diaper, but sorry, angry baby. But it does have to, if you choose that, like if you use a fitted diaper for nighttime, you'll have to hand wash that, and they're a little trickier to hand wash. You can still use your diaper sprayer. You can use your diaper pail, your pail liners, your wipe, those things. But just anything diapering related does have to be hand washed. So just keep that in mind.
And if you're fearful of the overnight, just jump into that Facebook group because there are a ton of great ideas for overnight flat diapers.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, the first year I did it, my son was a heavy wetter, and we were using like a ton of big, bulky nighttime diapers. And I was like, I'm just going to try 2 flats and see what happens. And shockingly, 2 flats paired together with a cover worked amazing. So flats are actually really absorbent.
I think my first son was a heavy wetter too, and I went with a receiving blanket and like a cotton Aussie Cozy, just because 2 receiving blankets was really bulky. And that was enough for us too at night. And I ended up continuing to use that afterwards because it was just so much trimmer than whatever I was using beforehand. And it washed up easier because a flat, like a fitted diaper can sometimes hold on to that overnight pee stink, and a flat just lets go so much easier.
Yeah. And not all flats are the same. Like most of them are made from cotton, but there are hemp flats out there. Geffen Baby makes one. Hemp Babies makes one. So there are other like materials that are a little more absorbent
out there. Yes, tons of options out there, and that's where like that your group is just such a wealth of ladies in there know so much, and you know so much as well from participating for years. So if someone wants to find out more information about signing up and participating, where can we find you on the web for that details?
My website is clothdiaperrevival.com, and you can sign up there and my past experiences. And there's old links to other sites who have done it as well, so you can kind of see what other people have linked up and read about their experiences if you want to prepare there. The link to our Facebook group is there. And the sign up is just pretty simple, just who you are and that you're committing to trying the challenge. And if something comes up and you can't sign up, it's not a big deal, or you can't do the challenge, it's not a big deal.
We got about 15 minutes of quiet before her 2-year-old just got tired of being quiet. And isn't that motherhood for you? Sometimes we are all juggling a lot of hats, and quiet is not an option. I am so grateful that Jenny took the time out of her day to share a little bit about the Cloth Diaper Revival. That's not what I'm talking about. The Flats Handwashing Challenge. The Flats Handwashing Challenge registration paperwork should now be open. You'll find that at clothdiaperrevival.com starting April 8th, 2019. So if you're interested, go check that out. I can't wait to see more conversations happening across the web. I'm pretty bummed I will not be participating this year, as my foot surgery is now anticipated for May 8th, and I will not be well enough or out of bed yet come May 13th. But I'm hoping that I can pull together some great resources, some great information, and share with you some of my other experiences and knowledge. So follow along on Instagram or YouTube. We'll start talking about that soon. If you would like to share your story here on the Cloth Diaper Podcast, don't forget to send me an email, bailey@clothdiaperpodcast.com, and I will see you in 2 weeks. We're going to be talking about elimination communication. Until then, bye.